This video demonstrates how my students navigate my Cengage Now Business Quantitative Methods course. The assignments are listed in order of due date. Grades are posted here. If a student has completed a problem, they can click here to see their correct answers and their incorrect answers. The ebook is listed under Study Tools. So here's chapter 1 of the ebook. Maybe you want to search the ebook for hypothesis testing. Now I'm going to show you how a homework problem works. So when you open up a homework problem, the thing that you see is a YouTube video that I produced and uploaded to my YouTube channel, and I embedded it at the top of this particular problem. When you click on this, you can watch the video here. When I click on play, the video demonstrates how to do this problem. But things like the sample mean have changed from the problem that I demonstrate to the problem a student sees. If the student does not get 100% on this problem, if they miss this answer, when they hit submit, they have to redo the problem. One thing that helps them avoid that is to use check my work. Check my work is a convenient thing. I only give 2 check my works per homework. After you've watched the video and completed the work, use in Excel as I demonstrated in the video, and copied and pasted answers in each of these answer boxes, the student can check their work and they'll get 2 of them. Apparently I got this question right, that problem right, but I purposely got this one wrong because I rounded it to 1 decimal place instead of 2. Because I got all but 1 correct, if I submit this answer, the problem is scored as a 0, and all these answers will be erased on the next take. The problem started over because the student missed one of the answers, part D, due to rounding error. When that happens, you redo it, you get new data. Every time you retake it, you get new data, and you get new answers. Now, because I have the right decimal places, I'm going to get the right answer, which is indicated by the check my work. Because I have all green check marks, which makes me feel really, really good, I know if I submit my answer for grading, I'm going to get 100% on this problem. And then I can view my assignment results right here. And notice that I have the first question correct, and I get 2 points for it. And all green check marks are right here. If I go to the gradebook, I'm going to have a grade of 20%. Why? Because I got 1 of the 5 problems 100% right. If I retake the problem, I don't have to do problem 1 ever again because I've mastered it. So then I open up problem 2. It has a YouTube video embedded at the top of it that shows me how to do this particular problem. And I have 2 check my works. If I answer that correct, and I check my work, I'm going to have a green check mark, green check mark, green check mark. Then I can go to problem 3. This problem has me calculate a confidence interval. There's, again, an instructional video at the top that shows me how to do this problem, but with different numbers. So these numbers here change from take to take and across students. Number 4, the same thing. I have a YouTube video showing me how to do this problem down here. The numbers are regenerated across students and takes. And the final question is a confidence interval for proportion. Again, on each take and across students, these numbers all change. There cannot be any sharing of answers. If students share answers, they're going to get the question wrong. So students are held accountable for knowing the material, for watching the video. And they do this before we talk about the stuff in class. So they learn how to do quantitative things before we get in class. That way we can have really deep discussions, more in-depth discussions, where I provide intuition and interpretation to the various test and regression analyses. So after the student has got 100% on all these problems, they submit it, and they know they got 100% because they have green check marks next to each answer box. And once 8 is done, then they can move on to homework 9. Homework 9, again, is a problem that has a YouTube video embedded at the top. There are drop-down menus here for determining the null and alternative hypotheses. There's some drop-down menus here, and down here. Again, the student has to get 100% correct on the problem. They have 2 check my works, if they don't get 100% on the problem and they submit, they got to redo the problem with new numbers. That's homework problem 9, homework problem 8. They all look very similar. They're all formatted the same way. YouTube video at the top, a bunch of drop-down menus and answer boxes for quantitative numbers. Homework 6, the same as homework 3, except it says, instead of assume a population standard deviation, the last sentence says a sample has a mean equal to that value, which changes from take to take, and a sample standard deviation equal to that. So question 3 and 6 are identical, except one is a sigma known problem, the other is a sigma unknown problem. 1 is identical to 4, but 4 is a sigma unknown problem, 1 is a sigma known problem. 2 and 5 are the same, except 2 is a sigma known problem, and 5 is the sigma unknown version of that problem. Homework 10 looks similar. Homework 10 is a group of problems that test the differences of two means or two proportions. Homework 11 is a bunch of problems that test the differences between a variance and a hypothesized value of the variance, or two sample variances. Homework 12 and 13 have a bunch of chi-square tests, distribution test, independence test, and an ANOVA test that tests the quality of three means. Homework 15 is pretty cool. The first two problems are simple regression problems that the student does in Excel. The student will copy this information into Excel, run a simple regression on this data, and then answer these answer blanks. Problem 1 and problem 2 of homework 15 is simple regression. And both, again, have YouTube videos at the beginning of each problem. Homework 3 is a multiple regression. We have the Y variable, quantity demanded, versus lobster price and customer income. On each take of the problem, this data is simulated. The code that simulates this is quite complex. I wrote it in HTML. It assumes values of the slope on lobster price and customer income and a normally distributed error term to generate these values in the Y column versus these values here. So on each problem, on each take, this table of data is regenerated fresh. Students copy that into Excel, and then they answer these questions down here. And this is just from the regression output that Excel will do, along with this. And then students have all these drop-down menu and answers. This involves the coefficient of determination and interpreting it. This is the hypothesis test and interpretation of the coefficient on price of lobster. This is the same for average customer income. This is the model significance test. And this is where we take the estimated equation and calculated predicted values, or forecast of the quantity that our consumers will consume based on the values of their income and the price of lobster. And that's basically how my courses work. There's a YouTube video at the top of each problem. Students learn how to do economic analysis or data analysis before they come to class. In class is where we have richer discussions.